are some difficulties and there are some problems and there are some challenges with marketing masterminds. And I'm going to tell you what they are really quickly, and then we're going to go through them. First and foremost, traditional marketing in masterminds fundamentally doesn't work. Okay, so I want to be very clear about this, what I mean by traditional marketing. So traditional marketing these days is, hey, I have a widget. I'm going to sell my widget on Facebook. I will get a Facebook ad. I will target my people, which, by the way, the targeting in Facebook is simply one of the greatest gifts to entrepreneurs, quite frankly, since the credit card was invented. I mean, it is one of the most powerful tools under the sun. But I need you to understand something, is that traditional marketing of I'm going to sell you a mastermind from an ad, or I'm going to sell you a mastermind because I happen to get you on my email list, or I'm going to sell you a mastermind by giving you a downloadable PDF, which, you know, little hint is every PDF that you've ever downloaded and never read, that holds true for everyone. No one reads that shit. So that process to convert a prospect into a mastermind member fundamentally is flawed and it does not work. And I want to show you and teach you why that's true. Okay. Now I'm going to use the easel here, and I got to get up and stand up. So, marketing masterminds has 3 key pieces. And am I better on this side or that side, or can I wander? It's all good? Okay. I shall. So marketing masterminds, and this is what's different about this, is that it isn't information. We are now this one. The red light. Thank you, brother. I truly appreciate that. So we are not selling a widget in this case. What we are doing is we are moving from information to transformation. That is really what the driving force is of a mastermind. And this is the order that I want you to understand that has to happen for you to end up with members in your mastermind. So, number 1, throw away the traditional marketing. I'm going to send them some email and some crap online. Nobody cares. It's not going to do a damn thing. The only reason you would send them an email is to begin to build this crazy thing called a relationship. Now, a relationship is more than having somebody on your email list. A relationship is actually, you know the person's wants, needs, dreams, desires. Now, knowing isn't enough. Here's the secret magic sauce. Now, and by the way, gang, if I would love to be curious about... That might be my favorite quote ever. Somebody put on the chat like, he's like a Tasmanian devil, only more productive. So T-shirt. Yes, I actually got to share something with you, is that when my little guy came home, Wyatt, I had great difficulty describing what he's like and who he is, because he's just one of the most amazing kids ever. And finally I came up with the metaphor, which was, if you were to imagine that the Tasmanian devil, you know, from the cartoon, the Tasmanian devil actually was spinning around and it ran into Winnie the Pooh and they became one, that's my boy. Okay, so here's this thing about relationships, is we know what they want, we know what they need, we know what they desire, we know all those sorts of things. But please hear this, knowing is not enough. The magic sauce, and I don't mean it as a sauce, it's like, ooh, it's a technique. You must genuinely do this. You must care. Crazy, I know. Who'd have thought? But if you're going to have a relationship, you've got to know what is up for them and help them do it, create it, be it, live it, embody it, and you must do it with a freaking heart. Does that make sense to you? Because if you can't get this piece done, the other ones are an impossibility. You know, there's a famous quote which I will butcher as I butcher most, which is something about this, is nobody gives a shit about how much you know until they know how much you care. That's what this is about. And that is one of the fundamental premises of masterminds that we've got to get clear. Now, once we get past the relationship, and there actually really is a relationship, it's just not a name on a list, it's any of those sorts of things, now we're talking about a little bit of intimacy. Now, I want to define intimacy for you, because I think that can actually assist here, because, you know, and a little tangent, I know that a bunch of you would just like this mastermind to magically appear, and you'd like to hide in your basement behind your computer in your fuzzy slippers because you bought the internet marketing bullshit story that you too can make billions of dollars in your fuzzy slippers doing nothing but sending emails. How's it working? So intimacy is this next piece, which the definition of intimacy is to discuss, disclose, and to share more and more of who I am with another human being or with my tribe or with my community. We must build intimacy. And the more intimacy that we can build, this is the end game. We begin to develop influence. Now, it is influence that is key if you're going to be a mastermind leader. And I want you to understand this, that there are a multitude of ways to get to influence, but this is really the fundamental step. Now, you can do it, please hear this, simply by being an expert in your field, writing the best book in the universe, where and let's be clear about this, sometimes if you have done this as well. You read a book and it's like, oh my goodness, I know this person. If they lived next door to me, they'd have been my best friend. We'd have grown up together. I'd holiday at their beach house. You know that story. We make that shit up in our heads. We do it all the time. So if you had that, you could create influence that way. You could create influence through a live event. You could create an influence by simply spending time being with someone. But let's be clear about this. Almost always, the most powerful way to have influence and to create influence and to become influential is to spend time with another human being, is to be with them. It is one of the reasons why I want you out of your house. I want you putting the damn computer away. I want you to not focus more on what is the latest technique and tool. I want you to go out and say, what is the latest person I can serve? These things do not happen, for the most part, online anywhere near as powerfully as they do offline. So this is one of the key pieces, and if you want to build influence, that's how I'm going to ask you to do it.